Hello. So, Drugs Inc. Zombie Island is all about Puerto Rico and the sort of invasion of hard illegal drugs, specifically heroin, cocaine slash crack, and xylazine or Anastasia. I gotta say, this Drugs Inc. series keeps getting more and more intense and more graphic. It's pretty crazy. The first 5 minutes were hard to watch, and I didn't watch a lot of it because they showed jungle rot on this poor man's leg, which is it's really disturbing. But he's a drug dealer, and I mean drug user, heroin, I believe, injects it into his legs. And a lot of people that are on the street, homeless, doing drugs, they don't have access to proper health care, so they cannot take care of themselves. And this other guy had been shot 12 times, somehow managed to survive 6 years ago, shot 12 times, and his freaking small intestine uh, was hanging outside of his stomach. It was so disturbing. It seems like the program directors found the most disturbing candidates for this program. One statistic that really stuck out to me was that Puerto Rico has a murder every 8 hours, and 80% are drug related. 80%. That's staggering. Apparently, Puerto Rico has become an alternative route for drug traffickers. Instead of going through the U.S.-Mexico border, they go around through Puerto Rico and then up along to the east coast of the U.S. to sell, a lot of the drugs, a lot of the heroin, a lot of cocaine, and some marijuana and whatnot, uh, which I didn't know about. But because of that, about 20% of the um, heroin and a lot of the hard drugs ends up in Puerto Rico, which is just decimating the country. Thanks, U.S., for that. All the people who are doing heroin and other hard drugs. And the other part about the CBP, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, just was another example of tax dollars down the drain. These guys have this $26 million Black Hawk, and they're going around fishing out of the sea a few kilos, what was it? I don't know, 20 kilos, 30 kilos of cocaine, and acting as if they somehow made any difference whatsoever in the massive literal ocean of drug trafficking. Uh, these guys. Oh, and then it goes on in the same segment to say the harder the agents work to find the contraband, the more ingenious the methods of concealment. Right. So, and then it says thousands of packages make it through, and only a few are stopped. Now, those two statements alone should be enough for the U.S. government to funnel all of these billions of dollars that are going to to this DEA, the Customs Border Protection, etc., that are focused on trying to stop illegal drug trafficking, and it should go towards the demand, right? It should go towards why are people using all of these drugs in this country? Why are why is the demand so high, right? Okay, and then the other interesting part was that Bijote, I believe it was, the guy who was the drug dealer in Puerto Rico, uh, was oh, it was crazy. He was for 12 hours he's making 600 to 700 bucks, and saying that he doesn't have enough money to get by, but it turns out he's a heroin addict and has 7 children. So, I mean, so maybe he should have thought about that before he had the children. Um, and the other thing that I never heard of, which is xylazine, or as it's called, Anastasia on the street. It's pretty much only used or mostly used in Puerto Rico. It's a horse tranquilizer, a literal horse tranquilizer, and people are using it and it's turning them into zombies, hence Zombie Island. So it's a complicated web, really, on Puerto Rico. And I had no idea that there was so much violence and so much drug use. and that people were using horse tranquilizers. What'd you think of the episode? Pretty crazy.